Are you a woodworker or DIYer with limited space but still need to do some table saw work? I may have just the solution right over here. See, what I did was I modified a workbench that I found on the Kreg jig pocket hole plan site, and I modified it and I just added a job site table saw. This is a regular skill saw table saw for the job site that comes with legs. Well, I didn't add the legs, I just built the workbench and put the table saw in there. I'll have a link in the description where you can get the plans, as well as the parts that I used for the assembly of this table. This shelf sits exactly 12 inches below the table saw tabletop. I use melamine coated particle board. I can drop in the job site table saw right into that spot. Now, I didn't bolt the table saw down inside the bench, and here's why. I still want to use the fence. So instead of having the table saw bolted down and flush up against the melamine, I'm able to pull it out a little bit, and for short work, drop in my fence right there. But I can only do that up to a point. Then it stops me. But out of the scrap melamine that I had left over, I went out and I bought this T-track that comes in super handy. So I glued up my leftover melamine. Not melanin, that's what's in your skin. But with that T-track mounted in the melamine top, I can scoot this in, and then I measure from the blade. And then I measure both front and back to get my true fence setting. And I can handle all the way out to 40 inches. I used to have some old 2x4s on hinges as the legs, and I had a piano hinge across the back. That didn't work out so well. I really like the arrangement that I have now. The arrangement that I have now is I can just lift up that outflow top. What I used was heavy duty shelving hinges. And that holds it up nicely. It locks into place, and then, get this, when I'm ready to store everything away, I can still take the blade down, take the fence off, have this as a flat surface for additional storage. Release that, fold that down, sweep that away. And there it is, all stored up. Now I have room for the car. So you may ask yourself, why don't I have additional shelving there? Well, a lot of things I have on the floor, like this toolbox and my DeWalt planer, I needed to be able to roll right over it. And that's just the right height. So that allows me to push it flush up against the wall and scoot straight over those heavy items. And then I reach around and drop the hinges. I recently upgraded the casters here. So what I do is I lock the casters. All four are lockable. But they're still nylon, so they still can scoot and slide a little bit. So I'm fortunate in that the garage flooring has these grooves cut in it. That gives me an extra grab to keep it from scooting as I'm making my cut. I also routed out at the back side of the table saw so that I can still use the miter gauge. What I also did is I cut a hole here for my Shop Vac. So when I'm running the table saw, it doesn't take care of all the dust, but it really helps out significantly. I simply put my Shop Vac to the side and run the hose up from the bottom. And that draws a lot of the dust in. If I need additional outflow table, I made this bench the same height as my other rolling workbench. So if you're a woodworker or a DIYer and you want your garage back, this may be the solution that you're looking for. If you want to see the 6 things that I absolutely love about my Bosch gliding miter saw, click the image on your screen now. I'll see you in the next video.